I've never done this before, but before the video even starts, I need to tell you, you have to watch to the end because I was done editing this video. I was literally about to upload it, and then I got an email. Bro, wow. This is the RTX 5080, and if you're listening to NVIDIA, you know it's one of the most powerful video cards you can buy, or at least that's what they want you to think. And at $1,000, it's not a small investment. That's if you can even buy this for $1,000. This is the PNY version, and you can actually get these MSRP if you're lucky. I want to tell you a story about how that happened and why it's one of the worst purchases I've ever made. So here's the thing. If you can even find a 5080 at $1,000, you may enjoy the performance you get out of it. I have not. This story is going to absolutely blow your mind. It's ridiculous, and it's one of the worst experiences I've ever had in spending $1,000 on something. I thought I got lucky, and now I'm nothing but unlucky. So this year, I actually wanted to upgrade my gaming PC to a 5090, an RTX 5090, but I was unable to find one for a decent price, certainly not at the $1,999 range, which is already ridiculous. So I kind of had given up on that. I considered upgrading my office PC with something like a 5080, but I wasn't really looking for one because at the time, just was back in the end of March, I actually couldn't find one for a decent price. So randomly, I'm in a Best Buy to buy something completely different. Wasn't even looking for a video card. And I look behind the guy who's checking me out on the shelf. As he's ringing me up, I notice that there's multiple 5070s and 5080s in the shelf behind him. I'm like, this is crazy. You can't find these anywhere. And on the Best Buy website, it actually said they were sold out. So I looked and I said, hey, what are those doing there? And the guy was like, yo, these people are going to pick these up. And I said, how long have they been there? He said, over a week. Those things had sat there for over a week. And when I asked when they would go back on the shelf, he didn't really give me a good answer. So I figured, let me go over to the PC section. So I went over to the PC section, talked to the dude over there. What had happened was a lot of people were purchasing them online and their payments were actually failing. And during that failing thing, they're actually holding them on the shelf and people just weren't coming to pick them up. So I asked him if there was any in stock that he had because I'm right there. I'm like, well, I wouldn't mind getting one. He said we have an MSRP version, which is wild. $1,000 for a 5080 when they're $1,600 to $1,700 everywhere else at that particular point in time. Sign me up. So the guy goes in the back, finds one. You can't even purchase it on the website. So in other words, if you go to the website, the Best Buy website on this day, it said it was sold out. You couldn't select it in the store because it said the store didn't have it. But he had one in his hand. And again, it was one of those payment failure things. So he had to do some type of trickery where I had to buy it on my phone using like in-store checkout. So I don't even remember, something weird. He couldn't just ring it up. He actually couldn't scan it to ring it up. And as he's checking it out, he says, "Don't you do YouTube videos?" And then I realize and recognize that the only reason I got this thing is because he recognized me. Cool. I mean, I'm lucky there, right? I'm feeling like I made out. And by the way, this is 100% true because I just went back the other day to ask about if they got any 5090s in, and a different guy there didn't know who I was. And the only thing he did was look on the website. Like he didn't look in the back, even though I said sometimes they have them in the back, didn't look in the back, didn't do any of those things. So I got special treatment. I acknowledge that. But I'm walking out of Best Buy with an MSRP 5080 at the end of March when it was practically impossible to do so. Super happy. I installed it in my i9 14900K 32 gig office machine. And I was excited to be able to play some games and be able to have a lot of productivity too, because I do my productivity on that main machine. There was not a single day, and let me be very clear about this, not a single day where that system was stable. Not one. Previous to me putting the 5080 in there had been a 4090 in there. This actually used to be my gaming machine, and it was fine. Everything was great. I was playing games on it. I wasn't doing any productivity. I only had my TV hooked up to it, and when I brought it in here and hooked it up to 3 monitors, and then put the 5080 in. And by the way, completely restarted over with Windows, which was a hassle and a half. You know, if you have a computer that basically you've been using since 2018, 2019, which was the case before, and then replacing it with this machine and then putting a new video card and then trying to remember all your settings and everything else and all the things you had installed, it was a hassle, but I did it. So I was super excited with a fresh, clean install of Windows 5080. No other video card had been in that install of Windows. Fresh and so clean. So fresh and so clean. Didn't work. Well, I mean, obviously I could get to Windows and I could start to play a game I can play the first 5 minutes of almost any game in glorious 4K for about 5 minutes before it would crash. Now, there are multiple types of crashes. There would be either drop to screen, I would get some blue screens, I would get all types of things. And with some of you watching right now are thinking, didn't you say you had a 14900K? I did. And let me tell you, that's a story for another day because I now no longer have that. Anyway, let's go back to the 5080. So here's the thing I'm thinking, okay, what's going wrong with this thing? So I look online and a whole bunch of people are having problems with RTX 5080s, and it seems to be a driver issue. And NVIDIA kind of acknowledges it. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just hang in there. Remember, I got it at the end of March, and I'm thinking, I'll just hang in there until the new drivers come out. And every time a new driver came out, which multiple did, that said that they, fixed things for the 50 series of video cards, I was actually super excited because I would install it thinking, I have now fixed the problem. Nah, not at all. Not even, nope, nah. So now I'm over a month into this thing and I can't return it to Best Buy. I'm thinking I would like to get my money back at this point. I'll just get a 40 series something because I've never had a problem with that. Not an option. What's my option now? RMA. Oh, the good old RMA that's supposed to save your life. And let me tell you, I was not looking forward to this. But I contacted PNY, not as a YouTuber, but as a customer. And I went through the process of testing it, and I did swap my 4090 into this PC to test it because that's actually one of the things that the customer service, which by the way I would not have been able to do otherwise. Like after we were going through some of the troubleshooting steps, they were like, "Well, do you have a video card you can swap in?" Well, I'm a YouTuber, so technically I do, but if I was a customer, no, that would be the answer. To that would be no. But I did have one, so I swapped in the 4090. Worked all day, never had a problem. Played multiple games, no problems. So that was satisfactory enough for the PNY tech support to say, go ahead and send this in. Again, this was on my workstation PC. And if I didn't have access to another video card, which I'm now borrowing, because I'm not using the 4090 in here, I'm borrowing a video card. I mean, I can only imagine someone who paid $1,000 for a video card to have to send it into RMA and have no video card for weeks. I started to talk to the person. I was like, this is my work PC. I need access to this. I hoped that they would have an advanced RMA where they would send you a video card. They usually wouldn't. A lot of companies do this. They take your credit card information and can temporarily charge you for the outgoing video card as you send back the other one. I don't know if many PC places are doing this, but there's other places in tech where they'll give you an advanced replacement. They just have your credit card on file just in case they need to charge you. So I was hoping for that. Nope. Just send your video card and you'll get it in about 2 weeks. Now, 2 weeks offline, I can't do that. That's not a thing I can't do that. So again, like I said, I'm borrowing a video card to help me get through this time. As of the video recording this, it's been just under 2 weeks since they received it. It's been over 2 weeks since I mailed it. It's been 2 weeks since they received it. The tracking information said that they got it on a Tuesday 2 weeks ago. And I hadn't heard anything. I was expecting to hear at least something back. So after about 10 days, I emailed and said, so am I getting my video card back? As I stated before, this is a work PC thing. I kind of need this thing. And I got a reply back saying it had already been sent on the 19th. Almost like they were, I don't know. I mean, you can't really tell if someone's upset over text, but if you read the way this thing was sent, it just came off kind of like, we already sent on the 19th. Well, if you take that tracking number and put it into UPS hadn't gotten that sumbitch. So when I had talked to them, the date of the shipping and the date that I emailed were like 3 days apart. So allegedly that thing had been mailed 3 days previous to the email I sent, and UPS still doesn't have it. So I got he said that UPS hadn't picked it up yet. I'm thinking, when does UPS not pick up a package for over 3 days? Bro, what? I don't believe this, but okay, I'm going to give them a little bit of grace. I'm going to give them an extra day. So someone else reaches out to me and says, hey, I'm going to look into this. Sometimes this happens. Let's see what happens. Now we're on the holiday weekend. I look again and again. Now we're almost an entire week from the day it was allegedly shipped, and UPS still doesn't have the package, which means they didn't send it. They say they sent it, but UPS never got this thing. This has been a terrible situation, which is still not rectified. I do not have my 5080. I spent $1,000 like 2 months ago for something that's never worked a single day. I don't have it now, and PNY has not sent me anything. They basically have my video card hostage. What am I going to do? And this feels extra bad if I was someone who didn't have access to another video card to keep me going for the last 2 weeks. And by the way, this is again a borrowed video card. I've got to put it in another machine and send away. I can't hold on to this thing any longer. It's a wrap for me. I'm out of time. So PNY, if you're watching this, please overnight me a video card. I spent $1,000 on this thing, over 1,000 with tax, and I have not been able to use it at all in any significant way more than 5 minutes. And by the way, let's not even talk about the blue screens or the drop to desktops when I'm video streaming, because I actually stream. And when that dies, that affects my money. Like, this is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. The worst purchase I've ever had in my entire life. And I still don't have my card. I'd love to hear if anyone else has had a similar RMA experience to this. I just acknowledge that at least I can bridge the gap for a little while longer, but there are tons of people who would be in this same situation who would just straight up be out of a video card. It's the most ridiculous situation I've ever seen. PNY, up your game. This thing was under 3 months old when I sent it in to you. You should have done an advanced RMA replacement. And if you don't have that program going, you should have it now. People are spending a lot of money and you're bending them over. I'm going to need some help on this. And if anyone else has a situation like this, let's talk about it. So while I was done editing this thing, I can't believe it. I just got an email from PNY, and they really am going ham. I think I got the ghetto tech support. Look at the way they wrote back to me. First, the company's completely closed today and nothing can happen until tomorrow. I know that. I just said I wanted one overnight. It seems reasonable for that to happen. Second, we're not overnighting you a new one. Wow, you're really coming in on one, aren't you? We will get to the bottom of what happened to the package, certainly, and you will get the one you sent us back. Why would I get the one that I sent you that you pretty much verified was broken through RMA back? I don't want the broken one back. I want a new one. Less than 90 days after I purchased this, you're going to try to send me this back? PNY, hold this L. Terrible. I just want to be clear about a couple of things. Number one, never in any of this exchange was I ever rude to any of the support people I talked to. As a matter of fact, I was really nice to the first guy and we actually got along pretty well. I did ask questions because it had been weeks after a device that I spent over $1,000 plus tax on has never really worked. And then I worked with a tech support rep to isolate that thing as a problem. Again, I put a 4090, a device that's much more powerful and draws more power from the system and is much more straining on the system than a 5080, and it worked fine as part of the troubleshooting steps. So to send me back something that we've already tested and everything else about the system works fine seems weird. I've never been disrespectful to anyone during this entire conversation. As a matter of fact, I've held back a lot of things that I wanted to say and just let it ride. But then to have support, a supervisor come back to me and use words like, it should not come as a surprise, as we specifically mentioned this in the RMA email. I'm sure every single person who gets RMA email reads every single little thing. But even if that's a thing that would be an L for me to hold, don't say it like that. What's wrong with you? And then the first of all and second of all, who uses language like that unless they're being rude? When's the last time you said, first of all this, and then second of all this, and weren't trying to be rude to somebody? I never came at you like that. It's entirely disrespectful. And considering that I'm the customer and I'm out a $1,000 video card that you say was sent, but there's literally no proof that you sent it, you should be a little bit nicer to me. Learn to do your job better, Bruce. Thank you for watching. And let me tell you something, that i9 14900K has an entire other story. That computer no longer exists. It's bad. So make sure you're subscribed so you can watch me explain that one. And I'll see you in the next one.